What's going on, guys? Zay11s are back with another video, and in this video, as you can see from the table, this is going to be my review of last gen's old controllers and the new gen's new controllers. It's crazy because I remember back when the Xbox One and the PS4 came out back in, I think, 2013, 2014. And we were like, this is the new generation. And the 360 and the PS3 were the old generation. And now we've upgraded. It took 7 years, but this is it. So without further ado, let's just hop on right into this. Which one should I start off with first, Jason? The PS?
Sony's closest. So
the Sony? All right.
Even though best should be for last, but we'll start with Sony.
We'll do it for the Sony. All right, so let's talk about the PS4 controller design. So this is, for my hands, this is just my personal preference. This fits perfectly in my hands. It's super thin from the top part over. The sides are pretty thin too. Overall, I would say this is a small controller. The triggers, they have like a little, it's like a little, like, I don't even know what you would call this.
Rivet?
I guess you call it like a rivet, like a curve, yeah. And it doesn't go all the way down. Like you can still see like a little bit. It doesn't go all the way down, but it works. It works. Both of them are like that. It takes a micro USB. Back then in 2013, we didn't even really have a lot of USB-Cs, so everything was taking like a micro USB, which I learned to hate. Battery life for this thing was actually okay for me. It was going down for me fast. My cameraman was going down for him too. I think something new and something revolutionary with this controller that Xbox didn't have was the touch bar, because they never had a touch bar in the PS3 controllers. Using this a lot more, I actually fell in love with this. I actually like this a lot, especially like in the new Miles Morales game. You actually get this little thing, you have to actually like swipe left and right to check your phone in the game, so that was a pretty cool idea. It has a share button, which is new. That was on the PS3. The share button basically allows you to add screenshots or videos up to YouTube, Twitter. Another cool thing about the controller is that it lit up. Actually with this, it'll light up depend on which profile is signed in.
So as you can see on the screen here, player 1 was blue, player 2 was red, player 3 was green, and player 4 was purple. So anytime you wanted to connect multiple controllers into the system, these would be the colors for the profiles that are signed in to play.
And you can actually make it so the light could be dim or bright. Of course, the brighter the light, the more the controller battery ran out, and the dimmer the light, the more the controller battery stayed alive. Overall, I kind of like this controller. If I was to rate it 1 out of 10, personally, I would rate it like a 9. I'd give it a good solid 9. What about you, Jason?
Yeah, I say, well, when I first got it, definitely a
9.
You know, I'll probably give it like 8.5, and that's only because of battery life.
Battery life.
Like, it was good when you first get it, but it dies, like overcharges and everything like that.
So that's the PS4 controller. And then, since we're on the old gen, we're gonna might as well go with the Xbox One controller. So compared to the 360 controller and the Xbox One controller, this was a big jump. To me, this controller felt so much more smoother in the hand compared to the 360 controller. With the 360 controller, there was like a whole bunch of curves, and especially like the right triggers and the left triggers, it would get stuck a lot. On this one, I've never ever had this controller get stuck from any of the triggers or the buttons at all. Talking about it, at the top part has a micro USB and connection controller, basically to connect it to different Xboxes. Has the battery slot on the back. So this actually does take AA batteries, but I had a rechargeable battery for it. Then we go to the front, it has the pause button, Xbox versions of the share button, the D-pad, center buttons, and the control sticks. When this controller first came out, I didn't like it actually. Reason being because I don't know what Microsoft was thinking. This was probably the worst thing they could have ever done. With the original Xbox One controller, it did not come with a 3.5 adapter. So people had to go buy this little thing right here. This is for the old headsets. People would have to buy that to put on a headset to talk to people. And then they had to come out, I believe, Turtle Beaches, they came out with like a adapter. My friend Mark had one. Had to buy an adapter, then plug in your headphones into there to basically use your own headphones. And that was a big downfall. Like, that was probably the worst thing I probably could have done, but they ended up recovering. They started coming out with things that has the 3.5 head jack. The controller's a little bit bigger. It's definitely bigger in the hand compared to the PS4 controller. Truthfully, I don't like the big form factor of the controller. It feels too big sometimes, and I feel like it's hard to like get my hands across the board, I guess you want to call it or not. But overall, the controller was fine though, other than that. The battery life was okay. It actually lasts, I would say this lasts a little bit longer than the PS4 because it has rechargeable batteries though. It's not like an internal battery, and it doesn't have like extra lights and stuff. Like the Xbox light would cut on. Okay, I didn't charge the battery. I thought I charged the battery. Nonetheless, you know what I'm trying to say. It has like a little light that comes on and lights up white. Overall, I would rate this controller, I would have to go with like a 7 out of 10. Like, it was good. It was just the beginning of the controller, just having this port, and of course the micro USB. I didn't like it back then. I still don't like it. It's really just like the form factor, how it feels in the hand. I don't like it. It's too big, but other than that, it's really simple. Stuff like that. Jason?
Me?
You never had one before.
Never did.
Okay, so you can't even rate this one.
Couldn't say a word.
Couldn't rate this one, all right. So while we're on the Xbox One, you might as well step over to the Xbox Series X controller. So this is one of the many colors that comes out with the Xbox Series X. I think they come out with a black one. I believe there's a white one, a blue one, a red one so far. And this is the crystal blue, I think that's what they call it. You can see overall the design is very familiar to the Xbox One X controller. It has a little share button right here in the middle instead of it being like on the side. The share button is right here. This is the select button. Ooh, actually, I'm sorry about that. Other than that, I said this was the share button. This is not the share button. This is the select button. I apologize. It has the little like diagonal pieces on the D-pad, so it's a lot easier compared to this one to hit the sides. It's a lot more easier to do it on this one compared to that one. One big thing I absolutely love about this controller. See that port up there? That port right there is a USB-C, not a micro USB, a C. And anything that has a C has, well, not everything, but C has quick charge, so stuff charges a lot faster. And this controller definitely does charge a lot faster with the USB-C. Other than that, it has the same button, like the LAN button, to basically connect to controllers and stuff like that. At the bottom, they still have the headset for the old headsets, and also has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack to connect headphones or a microphone. It's actually a little bit grippy on the white side and the blue side. It's not like a tough grip, but this grip definitely helps with sweating. If you play the game and your hands sweat, normally the controller get like all slicky and stuff. This little grip definitely helps with that. It also has these grips on the left and right trigger. And these left and right triggers compared to the old Xbox are a lot more flatter on the top.
You can actually see here that the Xbox Series X controller, the right trigger and the left trigger, it takes a lot more shorter time to go down compared to the Xbox One controller.
It's not as far to go down with this one compared to this one. Another sweet thing about this, depending on which Xbox controller that you get, the Xbox button, of course they light up, but depending on what color you get, the Xbox logo will light up that color. So this is lighting up like a white and blue. The red one will be white and red, and the white one will be white on white, and the black one will be black on black. The Xbox Series X controller is about as similar as the Xbox One controller, so it's not really a big jump. It's just like some minor details. Overall, I'll give this controller I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. It got to grow on me a lot more. I just had it for about 2 weeks, so definitely let it grow on me, but I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for this controller. All right, you said what?
Moment of truth.
What Jason is waiting on, the absolute most. This is actually his controller too. This is the PS5 controller. I haven't really used the PS5 controller that much. I've only used it probably like once or twice over a friend's house playing it. So I don't know the full features of this controller. However, I think the first thing that you will recognize between the PS4 controller and the PS5 is that it's a lot thicker. a lot more thicker compared to the PS4 controller.
Triple C stick.
Triple C stick controller, yes. Even like the size, like the depth of it is a lot bigger and a lot more thicker compared to the PS4 controller. And I remember when it first came out, it was leaked. A lot of people were kind of iffy about the controller. Even Jason was kind of iffy about the controller. I'm having my boy Jason help me out here.
Gotcha.
So this right here, I'm assuming is the select button.
Share button.
The share button. So kind of how with the PS4 has the share button.
It's the same thing almost.
Has the same thing. This is the start button.
Yeah.
Of course, this is the touchpad that it has like the regular PS4.
Yep.
The little buttons also has the PS5 button at the bottom, basically get to the navigation screen, stuff like that. Does this light up color?
That one, yes, we cut it on, but the bottom below it, it cuts orange on because that is a mic.
This is a mic.
Yeah, the mic's built into the controller now.
So look, the mic's built into the controller. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. So it actually, if you hold this little button, instead of like it lighting up at the bottom of this controller, it actually lights up at the top.
The bottom, pretty much right there.
This part?
Yeah, I think it connects to my PlayStation. Yep. Okay, she was cut on my PlayStation.
Oh, so yeah.
So that's why you see that light up now.
That's what that light is. Yeah.
Yep.
And then the blue light actually pops up here instead of at the bottom, like that one. Another thing I like about this controller already, USB-C, the triggers. I'm not gonna get too in detail with the triggers. I actually got a video coming up right after this one talking with Jason. He talks about the triggers. That's the best way to have you guys see it, but the triggers are adaptive triggers, and they basically, long story short, there's a lot of details in these triggers, and there's a lot of kickback on these triggers, and it's a lot more realistic with this controller. So at the bottom, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, basically connect your own headphones or a microphone, stuff like that. And there's actually a speaker built into it as well. I'm guessing this is also the microphone as well.
Yes.
This is also the microphone as well in the controller. Overall, I haven't used it a lot, but I would probably say I rate this like a 9 out of 10. I like the adaptive triggers. I used it a little bit in Spider-Man, but I heard that game isn't the best to get the feel for this. But I give it a 9 out of 10. And Jason, what would you give it?
They can see my review in the other video.
All right, you'll see his review in the other video. So I won't talk too much about that, but you'll see it in that video. All right, but that's it, guys. That's it for the old generation of controllers, the PS4 and Xbox One X. And that's compared to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X controllers. That's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, it's been Zay 11. Peace. All right. I don't know. This PS5 controller kind of nice though. I ain't gonna lie. Like, hold it in the hand, bro. It's kind of nice. I can't lie.
I guess I'm still recording. Keep that in there.
You said what?
That's a good thing I'm still recording. Keep that in there.